Now would be as good a time as any to discuss boundaries. As one who is fueled by freedom, I cringe just a little bit at the concept of boundaries. All I hear is scarcity, restrictions, and limits. But the logical side of me knows that boundaries are really less about restriction and more about creating a mutually agreed upon structure within which to operate with maximum productivity. Just as discipline equals freedom, so too does structure equal freedom. I can get behind that. One of the first things an executive must do when hiring an EA is to set clear boundaries and expectations about what the job entails. What hours do you expect your assistant to be available? How available is available? Does she need to stop by the office or just have her phone or laptop nearby? It doesn't necessarily matter what the answer is. You just need to make sure that you and your assistant are on the same page, in agreement, and that it works for both of you. It only becomes an issue when you or your assistant start operating outside of the agreed upon boundaries. I'm an executive who wants to partner with a workaholic. If you have a more structured day and like to disconnect at 6 p.m., then you might get annoyed with someone like Hallie who likes to check in or email articles or new ideas at 9 p.m. Again, there is no right or wrong answer, but you have to be in alignment with how you like to work and what the standards and expectations are for your business. This extends as well to other standards and expectations such as travel, night and weekend availability, how involved you expect your EA to be in your personal life, and flexibility with working at the office or from her home or even from your home. Get clear on how you see the partnership working and then make sure your EA is on board. If not, it just might not be the right fit long term. That's my opinion. Let's get Hallie's perspective too.
I think boundaries and work-life balance are bullshit. Adam was more diplomatic than I would be on this topic. In April 2017, I conducted a survey and asked executive assistants around the world, what is the biggest challenge you are experiencing at home or at the office due to your role as an executive assistant? The overwhelming response was work-life balance and boundaries, followed closely by not having enough hours in the day to handle all of the shifting priorities. Long, often undefined hours coupled with multiple competing priorities is tough. I've been there and I get it. But here's my, likely, very unpopular opinion. That's the job. That is what an EA does. It's not for everyone. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think people should work all of the time. You need other hobbies, you need to spend time with friends and family to take care of your mind, body, and spirit. It's not easy for anyone to manage all of life's obligations, and it's particularly difficult for EAs, but it is not impossible. Ultimately, I think that EAs should make sure they are very clear about what they are getting into, with the caveat that no two EA roles are the same. Some positions may require being available at all times. Some may ask that you simply stay connected via email. Some require extensive travel, and others are simply 9 to 5, with no requirements outside of those hours. However, I would be skeptical about any position that is simply 9 to 5, particularly at an executive level. EAs make the life of an executive flawless, and what executive do you know who only works between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m.? Be aware of what the position entails before signing on. Now, many of the survey participants also mentioned that they have flexible schedules. Again, they might be in the office from 9 to 5, but they can run out to their kid's soccer game, a dentist appointment, or lunch with a friend at their discretion. It works both ways. An EA may be up at 2 a.m. waiting for her executive to land in Europe, but she may also leave early on a Friday for a pedicure. So, why are so many EAs searching for that work-life balance if, in fact, most of the respondents said they loved their careers in spite of the hours? I think it has a lot less to do with balance and much more to do with not feeling in control of their schedules and their time. Very few positions are as demanding and dependent on someone else's direction, someone else's priorities, projects, needs, and deadlines. I believe that with the help of some clear expectations and some extreme time management, inner balance can be restored, even if it looks out of balance from the outside. As the chief of staff to a serial entrepreneur, I have done everything from setting up new entities to refining systems that allowed us to launch teams in new states, planning, organizing, and selling tickets for a nonprofit event, reviewing budgets and strategic plans, training other executive assistants, recruiting and hiring staff, helping write course content, scheduling meetings and travel, holding other staff members accountable, preparing presentations, and conducting meetings on behalf of my executive, and of course, much more.